Do you ever wonder how some people can be really confident but mediocre at their job and they'll advance, but you are super advanced at your job but not so confident and you see yourself stalled? So, today I really want to talk about 5 steps that will help you build that confidence so that it really can support and supplement all the hard work and preparation that you have done in your career. So, let's get right into it. Hey guys, it's me, Joyce, your Career Chief of Staff. For those of you who may not know who I am, I'm a career strategist and coach. I've worked in corporate and nonprofit roles for the last 15 years at organizations such as Goldman Sachs, Microsoft, Morgan Stanley. I've worked at nonprofit organizations as a career coach, and I'm so excited to work with you. Today's session is really about how to create unshakable confidence in your corporate workplace. So, we all know that confidence is the key to success in corporate America. I want to break down 5 key steps that will help you create unshakable confidence in your job and beyond. All right, so let's get right into it. Step number 1 is prepare. You can do all the self love and self worth exercises, you can do all the affirmations, but if you are not prepared at work, if you are not doing the work, getting better at your job, getting 1% better each day, preparing for that big meeting, or even just upskilling and understanding what the new skills will be in your function or your career, whether it's your industry or just your team in general, you will have a lot of trouble building confidence. The root of confidence is knowing that you've practiced, you've prepared, you've done the work and the research needed to get to that next level. So, what does it mean to prepare? For the sake of this conversation, preparing really just means 2 things. One, making sure that you have the foundational knowledge needed to get the job done, to get the project complete, to move forward or to collaborate with another team member, to move and drive business needs and priorities forward. Second part of that is getting 1% better every day. That really can be anything from strengthening your public speaking skills, building a technical skill set, working better to collaborate with others. It could be just learning about the landscape. What are the competitors doing? 1% better each day means learn something new every day. Learn something about yourself, learn something about your company, learn something about a colleague, your job, your market, all of it. Really, that preparation is going to springboard you into a place where you have enough data and enough evidence that you can move to the next step. Without being prepared, you're going to search for validation in lots of other places. You're going to want your boss to tell you you're doing a good job. You're going to want your colleagues to pat you on the back. You're going to be searching for that validation everywhere else but within yourself. Once you know you yourself are fully prepared, you can move on to step number 2. All right, so step number 2 is trust yourself. Now that you have prepared, you've done the work, you've practiced, you've done all the research needed for that project, you have dotted all your I's, crossed all your T's in that assignment, you know you have enough evidence that you can trust that what you have submitted is correct, it's thorough, it's on time, and it will make an impact in the organization. Self-trust is something that every professional needs in order to stop seeking validation from other places. That self-validation that you can provide yourself when you trust yourself will take you a long way, not just internally, but externally, how others see you. They will begin seeing you as a leader, as an authority, as someone who knows what they're talking about, and that is what will take you far in corporate. So trust me, once you've done the preparation, once you have figured out what it takes to get the foundational aspects of your job right, you know that now you can trust yourself in establishing that leadership and establishing, at the very least, the foundational knowledge that you're moving in the right direction. Also, when you trust yourself, you can decisively execute. If you have decision making power in a project or within the organization in any capacity, it is very important to decisively execute. So if you are questioning yourself, if you're tentative, if you're wondering, am I doing the right thing? Your self-trust is not fully developed. It means you haven't fully prepared. It means you haven't done the necessary steps, the research, or whatever it takes to get to the point where you have enough evidence that you're ready to do the job and ready to get the project done. So that means you need to go back to step one. And when you trust that what you have submitted is the best possible project or assignment or task that you could have done with your ability, you're now ready to move on to step three. Okay, so step three is to take calculated risks. We cannot grow if we do not take risks. These risks could be anything from trying a new skill, learning something new to take on a new project or a new responsibility, putting yourself in the forefront to present to senior leadership. It could also be even related to putting yourself up for promotion. It could be anything. That risk that you take is going to be the critical step in helping you grow in your career. In corporate positions, it's very important to organizations that they see that their employees are building value within the organization. So staying stagnant in the same position, doing the same tasks over and over, year after year, you will not be seen as an asset to the organization. You will be seen as an employee with lower potential and the lower possibility for promotion in the organization. So taking calculated risks means thinking about what have you prepared? What have you definitely presented well, known that you've made a good decision on? What have you really gotten good at? And knowing that, okay, now it's time to take a different risk with this skill. Maybe it means I'm mentoring someone else. Maybe it means I can ask for more work. Whatever that is, take a calculated risk in order to stretch. Okay, you've been growing, you've been taking risks, you have prepared, you trust yourself, you're able to make decisions decisively. Now, we are on to step four. Step four is to implement critical feedback from trusted sources. Feedback is a key factor when thinking about your growth and your ability to build confidence within an organization. You're going to have managers give you feedback, peers, subordinates, community members, all types of stakeholders will give you feedback. But the key is to ensure that you're getting it from a trusted source, whether that's a mentor, a manager, or someone who really has your growth in mind and your best interest at heart. So once you hear this feedback, the key really is to internalize it in a healthy manner that does not link to your own sense of personal self-worth and self-trust that we talked about. It's just linked to your stakeholders giving you feedback about a project or a task. It's not about you as a person. A lot of the times we take feedback very personally and we think it means that we're a bad professional, we're not good enough, we are not made for the organization. We make it mean a lot of things in our minds. It's very important to keep professional feedback in the professional realm. It's a growth mechanism, it's a good thing. There are some people who you're not going to take that feedback, maybe because you don't trust them as much, or maybe because you realize the self-trust that you developed really does show you that what they're saying may not necessarily be the type of feedback you want to take. But if you are incorporating feedback, critical feedback from trusted sources, if you have that self-trust, you will know which feedback to take and which feedback to reject. If you've prepared, if you've started taking risks and you're assessing what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, you're not just going to take every single piece of feedback that comes. You're going to have the discernment to know, all right, this feedback is feedback that I want to incorporate in my next level of growth. So you've taken the risks. When you take a risk, guess what can happen? You might fall. If you learn how to skate, you're going to fall. If you learn a new language, you're going to mess up. Whatever it is that you're learning, there's always the possibility that you're going to fail. And what's important in that scenario is if you're not failing, it means you're not taking a risk. Okay? The key is to fail forward. Failing forward means, you know what? You accept that failure is a part of learning and growing, and you do it in a way that's going to propel you forward rather than hold you back. Also, when you fail forward, you take whatever feedback you receive from those trusted sources and you use it to propel your growth. So you're executing whatever that feedback is, you're getting better, you're doing it that much better, whether it's faster, more efficiently, more timely, whatever it is, use that feedback to help you grow and not take it personally that there's something wrong with you or that you don't belong or whatever it is, the story you're going to tell yourself in your own mind. The last step really is affirm yourself. Affirming yourself is a critical step here because you've done a lot of work. You've done all the steps that we talked about before, and now it's time to celebrate that. You're going to celebrate your wins, you're going to celebrate your losses, because your losses and your failures are actually linked directly to your growth. Okay, so once you celebrate that, you affirm yourself. You can do that internally, whether you're journaling about it, whether you are telling a family member, you're praying about it, whatever it is that you need to do to say, you know what, I did a great job. That was a challenge, but I got through it. Or, you know what, I learned a lot this quarter. I'm super excited that I can use what I learned to propel myself in a different direction. Also, affirming yourself definitely reduces even further that need for external validation that we talked about earlier. You're affirming yourself. So that self-trust, you're doubling down on it. You're celebrating the fact that I took the feedback, I did what I had to do to fix the situation, I dealt with the failure in a better way, I'm a better professional for it. And over the months and quarters and years, you will realize that you have grown from taking these 5 steps into consideration. Okay, so those are the 5 steps. At the end of that 5-step cycle, what you do is you reassess your goals and you start all over again. Whether it's the next project, the next quarter, the next role, even it could be a next job. You're always going to reassess what your goals are to see how they fit into your new mold as you've grown as a professional. So you're going to start preparing again. You're going to start again with your self-trust exercises and moving forward on and on through the 5 steps. All right, so the 5 steps are: prepare, trust yourself, take calculated risk, incorporate feedback from trusted sources, and affirm yourself. I promise you, if you take these 5 steps and really work on them for each project, for each new job, for each new quarter in your current position, you will develop unshakable confidence in your corporate career. If you thought today's content was useful, check out this next video. Head to careerchiefofstaff.com. Check us out. We're on LinkedIn as well and Instagram. And you can get on my calendar if you want to chat. We chat about things about career strategy, career transitions, and even challenging and difficult conversations that you may be having at your current position that I can help you navigate. So excited to hear from you. Reach out. I can't wait to chat more.